Got ourselves Darkron over on the team one, or ready to go in the alley. You know, the more I look at the elemental or shaman tier set, the more I'm like, I'm okay with it. I'm not a big fan of the helmet, like the water plume. I understand what they were trying to go for, but just not a fan, right? Like this, it's. I feel like maybe they had the water one, a lightning one, a fire one. You know, all the elements. I think that would have been maybe pretty cool. We got Arthas on a Frosty. We got ourselves part 24. I think first up potentially. Yuri in the back and Cobra baby as a sub rogue off the bat. Versus part. Man went for a shot about this point. If you walk up next to him, you should be able to see him, right? Cheap shot does get himself a proper go. Trinket immediately as Cobra tried to get himself a proper setup. Trinket to follow off of the Mortal Cold. Trying to see if he can build up for damage as he's the Deathstalker. And I think this is the first time in Duels that we've actually seen a proper sub rogue. Try to see if he can get himself a proper setup. He cannot really burn through the shields and dot it up fully. Might just have to cloak here. There goes the cloak. Part 24. He just needs to maintain the dots. That's all he needs to do. Vanish out of the rogue as we got Cobra's over in team 2. We got us a Ludwig and a Feral as well as News. And Cobra coming back in with yet another kid to shot. Wall back up for part 24. He does have the death mark. The Eviscerate should hopefully do a bit of damage. Blind to follow. I'm really hoping we'll get like a fatty Eviscerate here and there. But look at the death mark, by the way. Or the Deathstalker thing. It actually marks them. You can actually see them. I love that in particular. I think it just looks really cool. Like a big old mark on the target. Marked for death or whatever. I think it's good. I just don't like the colors of the shaman set. Yeah. I feel like the colors are a little bit off too. But I feel like elemental plumes and elemental shoulder stuff would have been awesome, man. Different types. Or maybe have them just switch depending on the spec. That would have been dope too. As it's going to be a quick kick on part 24. As the rogue is still trying to see if he can fight through it. But this is rogue damage. Everybody says rogues do tank damage right now over on the War Within. And I think it's honestly, sadly, very, very true. This guy's tried. He's getting himself those, what is it, Deathstalker, what is it, capstones, where his next Eviscerate does like 40% more damage, guaranteed crit, reapplies the mark once he goes through a couple of finishers. So he is getting like fatty crits here and there. It's just the damage compared to other classes is just not really doing it. Just unless you get himself a proper setup. Got himself a re-stealth or a shadow melt. I think it was a proper shadow melt. Got a kick. If you can get a couple of Eviscerates, eventually Eviscerates, once the mark is consumed, you should be able to Eviscerate for a huge hit. Possibly. Cloak of Shadows. Maybe something he can set it up. Get a shot. This is very, very DR. Man just press the shield. Yeah, rogues do literally tank damage. Part 24. You're just PvEing this man down. Cobra baby going through every one of his cooldowns, going through everything that can help him live. This man is just melting. That's all it comes down to. And it's not like he's not even trying either. He has actually tried. He has tried very hard. Look at that health. Oh man, it's just to get himself a bit of a shielding. Man, dude. That's a lot of you guys have been asking me. But now, how are rogues doing a War Within? This is the state of rogues until Blizzard gives us like an actual look-see over. Until they give us an actual look-see. I think this is it, man. This is it. Rogue in the dumps. Mortal Cold to follow Trinket or after. Man is fighting against his destiny, though. He's trying to see if he can make a play. He got the Warlock super low. Oh, my God. This man is just backpedaling out of there. Oh, man. Nothing hurts my soul more than seeing the backpedal player. You know what hurts my soul? When rogues do tank damage. Literally, a Brewmaster hits harder than a rogue right now. Hell, a Bear Druid hits harder than a rogue. That hurts my soul as part 24. Out of options, out of choices. Big Soulfire. Just a meatball on the guy and taking him out. Yeah, this is rogues, man. I'm trying not to be sad. I'm trying not to turn, like, every time I talk about rogues, I really do try not to make it all about, like, oh, let me complain here for a bit. Sad boy hours or whatever, right? Oh, for Corvus, he might just actually want to swap out the pet. He's got himself not the succubus. This is going to be a big setup. Trollbane out. Got himself a port. Looking to back up out of there. Maybe potentially get himself a gate. Trying to see if he can get away from falling off and just trying to see if he can avoid him. Got himself the proc for Ruination. Potentially could make a big play. Dropping down big Infertile. Mortal Cold to follow. Big able. Immolate, trying to see if he can set up for Ruination. There goes the Overfiend, so that's a double wombo combo. Got himself the big setup. Chaos Bolt 1, trying to see if he can make a play. Second bolt right after, got himself the Overfiend. There goes the big port as he gets stunned up. The army of the Riders is in. Silence to follow as Arthur's got himself all the damage rolling in. Oh, big heal by Cobras, man, under immense pressure as the Death Knight got himself ramped up, and at the end of it, I think it's just the Riders that took him out. Because he got CC'd for sure, and the Riders took him out at the end. Oh, it's me. Oh, it looks like it is going to be news up next. Blind by Arthur, trying to see if he can get himself a setup. Bladestorm to break him out of those stuns. As Fallen Arthur's got himself at least a Rider or two. Hopefully being summoned up here in just a moment. News still taking huge hits back to back. It's silent, so you can't even go for some of these defenses though. He does need his voice to go for a rallying cry. Trying to go for a bit of a heal. There goes a rally. And actually Arthur's kind of matching him 1-to-1 right now. News picking up a little bit of survivability. Looking for big heals. Arthur's does sacrifice the gold. He needs a little bit more healing. He got him some death strikes, but it looks like News does end up taking him out at the very end of it all. Is it going to be Dark? Or is it going to be Yareem? Looks like Yareem is up next. He's still going to give him the honor duel now. As soon as we turn this into a 4v4, man, you guys are all, oh, honor duel. Let's give him as much of a proper chance. I think I still got it though, right? I like his bog. I like the stash. I'm trying to achieve, dude. That's goals right here. That stash, that is goals right here, man. That with the bushiness, I'm looking for that. Trying to give this man as much of an auto duel as possible. Dampening though, boys. Dampen the scale up. They're trying to be too nice to one another, man. You just wait and give and use a chance. You're like, yo, are you ready? Are you good to go? Arcane Surge off the bat, leaping by the warrior. Got himself a bit of a rush. Quick interrupt on the arcade. Actually could be a huge setup. Does break out of the root really quickly. That is an ultra time. Trying to be very, very measured here. Trying to be very careful. There goes the ultra charges right in. There goes another blink right after. Has himself the back blink in case he needs to. But News not in a great spot health-wise. Got himself rally into a quick stun. Yareem does have a human racial out of this one. At some point, I think he has to go aggressive or just back up out of there. He got a fear, full bleed, nice big setup, potentially big damage. As long as he can stay on top of the guy, he might be okay. Charge on the ready. Evocation, try to go for a big execute, try to go for a kick, does not connect. The leaping right in with the Bladestorm, might be able to take him here. Hold on. You're trying to see if he can back up out of there, kind of low. There goes the block, and News picking up a little bit of health. Honestly, pushing that aggression, pushing that pressure, forcing the guy into a block of ice might be absolutely the play. Brett does not connect, trying to go for Poly. Quick convince for that DR that he gets himself. That's huge. It's just chill trying to get himself a power. Poly alter into a stun. Poly and stun. Blink is available. Does get himself barrages with an alter, but he does have to re-alter a little early. As long as you can get on top of the guy right now, get a couple executes, I think he might just have it. I think Yareem might be in a lot of trouble. He got images. He does get himself a juke kick, but he's still under a lot of pressure. Got himself a bit of damage as well, but the execute out of News just goes in, crashing down with Dark R and dampening, getting kind of high, trying to see if he can ruin him in place, trying to see if he can catch him really quickly. And then goes the root totem. Does end up getting him. Should be able to take him, and then you got a Pharaoh that you gotta go up against. Trinket for News as he does get himself the Ancestors joining right in. Do the Ancestors L blast? Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. I think they might no longer alley blast through the wall, but I'll need to check a look at it in a second here if they ever gets behind the wall. Shields up for Dark. Got himself a big knock onto News. News just using that to get himself a second win heal. Elemental charging from around the corner. If you go left, yeah, for the root. He tried to get as much of a heal as he could, man. He tried his very, very best. Lava burst to follow. Dark could technically just get himself a proper setup. Bunch of lava bursts, everything, all that instant casting, especially with frost shocks. As long as you lava burst, you can get those frost shocks to reflect up, and then it's going to be a quick stun as Dark backing up out of the Stormkeeper available. Everything is up and running. Got himself full bit of damage. Does he have himself the Earth Shocks and Elo Blast to follow? Not Elo Blast. Lightning Bolt Overloads is going to be a Shockwave or Stormbolt stun. As a Blazer comes out, Dark with a wall. Got himself at least a little bit of survivability. Tried to see if he can back away with the healing surge. Does get stunned up though. Might be under a ton of pressure with a full bleed and everything, unless he got himself a way to get away from News. I think it's just an execute range, actually. I think an execute is going to end this right here. Does get him kicked. Hold on a second. Elemental damage is available. I think it's just over, potentially. There goes the, not even an execute, I don't think. I think it's just a normal hit. There it is. News with 3. Well done. Well done. Let's see if we can maybe get this into another 44, or if you get a +1, we can turn it into a proper 5v5. All right, boys.